Jonathan here from CorSec Props. Today I'm going to be talking about a new tool I just got in the mail. Came in yesterday. This is an Ergo Kiwi, and if you haven't heard of this, this was a Kickstarter that happened not too long ago, and this is a new style of X-Acto knife. And it came with a little tray of blades here, and I wanted to do a short video on it because, well, I was kind of just impressed with it. It's quite a... You know, when I saw it, I was like, that looks neat. It solves a problem I have with X-Acto knives, and, you know, it's a unique way to hold them, and, you know, it feels good in the hand and some other stuff. So, unfortunately, like a regular X-Acto knife, like, say, this guy, you know, the blade moves a lot, it'll come out real easy, it's just kind of, So, with this one, it has a couple features. One is there's a magnet embedded in here, so you can pick up blades off of a table, and a little less chance to hurt yourself that way. But one of the problems is that same magnet means you got to be careful when you're inserting your blade. And so you pull this little tab out here, and this opens up the chamber so that a blade can come in. And there's, like I said, there's a magnet back in here, so you take your blade, and it'll actually click into place. So if you're not paying attention, it could drag it across your finger if you're not paying attention. So then you close this guy, and then it don't move. That blade does not come out. It won't go anywhere. There's a little pin in the back, or a little stud through here that goes through that hole that you see. You know, you've got this hole here. It actually uses that to secure it, and that combined with the magnet and a couple other things means it really holds up, and it'll cut really nice, and you have got a lot of control. You've got it's just an all around. It feels better than the little stick ones, and I really like this little X-Acto knife holder. And it was a little bit pricey. I think in the end it was like $25 for the Kickstarter. This is the plastic version, and it's actually been assembled. I was totally surprised to see the guy who put it together, the guy who sells it, or did the Kickstarter, was posting pictures. This is hand sanded. You know, he could have just slapped these two pieces together, but he went that extra mile to make it nice and smooth. He went over what feels like maybe a 220 at least, or maybe a 300 or 400 grit, and so it has a really nice feel to it, and it doesn't feel like two molded pieces of plastic shoved together. He's also making CNC based wood ones, and those are a little bit more pricey and really great. But one of the other things I wanted to talk about was I really kind of am impressed by a couple features on this that take it from being just a cool tool to something that really is a little, a lot nicer, and it looks like it's going to last a while. And I'm kind of just impressed with sort of the engineering and the design ideas behind it. Now, this piece of plastic is, this is plastic, and it is going to be probably the failure point. There's a little pin deep inside there, and that pin friction fits into a little slot. And, that's probably the only complaint I'm going to have, is that that's going to eventually fail. And that's minor, very minor. In fact, it's not even as tight as it used to be when I first got it, but it's very minor, and it's actually not going to affect, because as long as that thing stays shut, it won't be a problem for the blade to pop out. But that's held in by a metal piece, so there's a little metal pin in here that goes through, and that's what holds this. And as you can see, this is kind of the really good part here, is this little metal shim here and this little metal shim here. And what that's going to do is prevent... Now, it's an X-Acto knife, so you're not going to get a lot of force going this direction or this direction, but you also have a ton of material on these sides. You don't have a lot of material right here, and while you do have some here, it's really going to be a lot of force applied axially here, where it's going to push at this point up, and it's going to put back here at the back of the blade tip, the end of the blade, it will push down, and that's all that force that you press down with. So the harder you push, the more pressure is going to be there. And so this is a potential failure point. This is where it would crack out and the whole thing would break. And it might not happen now, it might not happen later, but it would eventually happen. And because it's got this little metal shim in there, that means that this piece is designed, you know, in a way where it won't do that. And it'll last a lot longer because it's dispersing that weight all across here and then also transferring it through the piece deeper in. And I was just really impressed with it. I thought, you know, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little video on this because, you know, I haven't really got a chance to use it too much yet, but just the design aspect and the quality of manufacturing that was put into this was really something. And so I'm really happy with how this Kickstarter came out. You know, like I said, it was a couple months late, but that's perfectly reasonable for, you know, a Kickstarter the size that it ended up being. So I don't know if these are going to be available for sale for those people that, you know, want to get one and have just heard about it, but I'm definitely very thrilled to have it, and we'll be using it, and hopefully it doesn't go the route of all my other X-Acto knives, and I'll do double effort to make sure I don't lose this one like I do the other ones. So that's just a quick little overview on the Ergo Kiwi, and hopefully we see a lot more from this guy in the future, different ideas and different ways to you know, make tools that just kind of step up a little bit better, especially for the hobbyist, you know. And I'm not going to be dealing with anything that's really, you know, a clean environment. Like if I was an architectural modeler or a paper crafter, you know, I might consider going ahead and sitting down and putting out the money for a nice wooden one to make it look nice. But the plastic one was all I needed, and it looks great, and kind of enjoying it. I can't wait to get to use it. So thank you. Hopefully we'll be able to do more things like this in the future. We're also going to be still streaming on Twitch on Wednesdays. That's over at twitch.tv/CorSec Engineering. And if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, let us know in the comments, and we'll, you know, try to come up with some stuff that we can also talk about and look at, you know, maybe even go into a little bit of a series looking into more of the engineering behind certain things and seeing, you know, like I said, failure points, and talking about how to build props and do things that bring in engineering into a factor so that it lasts longer and it's built a little bit better. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in our Twitch stream here shortly, one of these weeks. So thank you very much.